Hey there, welcome to another MyConnect training video. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the agent websites. Going to give you kind of a crash course on all the things you can do to customize your site. This is meant to be a general overview. We will have specific web trainings and webinars on some more in-depth things like you can do, like building landing pages for social media and doing saved search displays on the specific website and changing out banner photos. But right now I want to kind of just get you to navigate through it, to pick your different templates, maybe drop in some Google Analytics code if you want to, and just get a little bit comfortable with what you can do with your agent website, because it is a very powerful thing. So we are on the MyConnect system. We are loaded to the home page. You can see this is our great point of reference. How do I get here? I click the logo on the top. I click My Home, My Home. Either one of those will work great, or when I log in, this is the first place that I come. So we are going to look for this tile right here called Agent Website. So when I click that tile, this agent website loads. Okay. How do I know that I'm logged in as the editor? Up here on the left, it says, "Hi, Tom." My name's not Tom, but that's our demo account. So "Hi, Tom." And then in the upper right-hand corner, I've got these three setting pieces and website notifications. So it's just this nice little skinny bar. And the reason we don't have a ton of controls on here is because we want you to see the site as you're editing, the changes that you're making as you're editing. So everything that we do for the most part is on the front end side of the site. So it makes it really easy to edit things, see if you like them, back out if you don't. You don't have to work in kind of a crazy programming sandbox, that kind of a thing. So I'm just going to go through all these different pieces that you can manage, and then in other videos we'll go deeper into those pieces. But for a lot of you, this will be enough to get comfortable with your site. So on your agent website, this is one of the default templates that we have listed. So you've got your picture and contact information above the fold. You've got your AVM down here. You've got the exact same search that the company site has. And so just being able to type in by address or zip code or city or whatever, and everyone who comes here stays on your site, and they really can't get back to the corporate site unless they shut down the tab and start over again on the corporate site. So lead generation and lead protection is a very big deal, and all your leads are protected very well when they come to your specific agent website. So they can sign up for market reports, they can get listing alerts if they wanted to, they can see open houses, and of course, you've got all this great display stuff. So I don't have my bio showing because I don't have a bio, but if you did, it would be down here between these two things. And then you've got contact forms down here, and then you've got your footer as well. I don't have any social media links. We talked about those in the profile section. Those would show up down here. Those would also show up at the top across the bar. Someone can email you here, log in, and get listing alerts, all of these sections down here. So let's go through our tabs and see what's available. So the top left, I click Hi, your first name, and I get website settings and layout. A couple of basic things. You can put Google Analytics code in here if you want to, or you can put Tag Manager. Those two, you need to pick one. The vast majority of you will have probably never used Tag Manager. It's a very, very in-depth way of doing Google Analytics tracking codes. And so I would say the majority of you would just want to put in your GA. Your Google Analytics code usually starts with something like a UAT. And so it says UAT and then a bunch of numbers -1 is a very simple way of how it looks. So make sure that it looks kind of like that, and that's the code that you want to put in for that. For those of you doing Facebook ads, you can also put a pixel in your website. And so Facebook will get you the code, and you can put the pixel there. So we have several different types of layouts. To change the layouts, you just click this button here that says Change Layout. It'll show you 2 or 3 different layouts. You'll select it, and then it'll rebuild the page, and you'll be done. So this website settings is very simple. You won't have to go here on a regular basis, but get your GA code in there if you want to, and then you can take a look at changing your layout. Upon launch, we will have several different layouts for you to pick, and then once you've done that, you're good. So here we'll just click Save, but in this case we didn't do anything, so actually we're just going to click the big X, and so that's off the page. So left-hand side, that's what that is. Sometimes when you do a bunch of changes to your agent website, you don't see the changes live because your cache is not cleared. We've given you a button here to go ahead and clear your cache right away, so you should be able to see the changes immediately. So if that happens to you, if you're making a bunch of changes, maybe on your profile, maybe on some of your pages, and you're not seeing those because your browser is caching them, go ahead and click this Clear Website Cache and log out. And then when you come back to the site, they'll all be updated. Okay, the real fun is over on the right-hand side. So on the right-hand side, let's go to Manage Banner Photos. So Manage Banner Photos is basically the photos that are on this big hero image on the front of your website. So these are defined by what the company puts in, but you can change them if you want to. You can get rid of these if you'd like. You can modify them by changing the order, or you can add your own banner images and create additional slide gallery images. So you would just click New. You would choose the file from your computer system and then drop in one of the files here, title it so you just know what it is in the future. If you want to use it and reference it to a listing, you would click the listing ID, and that would make it clickable to a listing details page. And then, of course, the order that you want it in the rotation. Once you do those things, you click Save. Just a couple of notes here. Image resolution should be 1600 by 800. I would really shoot for that if you could to make sure that the image looks good. Basically, we're looking for twice as wide as we are tall. So if it's 2000 pixels wide, make it 1000 pixels tall. Keep that ratio in mind of twice as wide by as tall as it is. So a 2-to-1 ratio. So we suggest around 1600 by 800. You could go up to 2000 by 1000 if you wanted to. But if your image is only like 600 pixels wide by 300 tall, that's not going to look good. So we want these to look good. So make sure you get the proper resolution. Okay, that's how you manage your banner photo here. Page attributes, we've got a actual course on search engine optimization, but this allows you to change a couple of your page attributes. So what are those? Well, your title, your page title is what shows up on this little tab up here. So that's Tom Agent. This is very important to Google. So you definitely should have your name in there so it's easy for someone to find you when they type in your name, but you also might want to do something like Tom Agent, comma, New England Realtor, or New England real estate agent, something like that. So something that maybe defines you a little bit better and tells Google it's more than just a name. This is actually your profession as well. This description is what shows up on a search engine website when somebody finds this actual page. You want to keep this to 160 characters or less. That's not, it's not perfect. I mean, you don't have to, if you have 200 characters and you really like that description, that's not the end of the world. But that will create a little ellipsis at the end and people won't be able to read all of that in there as well. So you want to try and keep it to 160. And that could be something like, I love real estate and have been working in this field for over a decade. I mean, it could be something that tells somebody a little bit about you, the areas that you work in. Hopefully you get the idea. What you're trying to do is sell yourself there a little bit. Social media title and media description are the same thing, but when you actually share those in social media, these can be different. I would honestly just make them the same. You can make them a little bit more playful. That's typical for social media, but that's up to you. All right, so you would always just click on Save. I'll click on Save down here. It says modification is complete. And now if you look at the top here, it says Tom Agent, comma, New England Real Estate Agent. So that would be your first name. So mine would be Ken Elmer, comma, New England Real Estate Agent. Okay, so that's what page attributes is. We just went through Manage Banner Photos. Now let's take a look at our pages. Let's say we want to create a page and then drop it here in a new navigation section. So the first thing we want to do, instead of creating a new navigation, we want to create the page first, and then we'll link it to the actual navigation itself. So up here in the top right, I click on New Page. It asks me what the name of the page is. Tom Agent Background, we'll say. Now, why do I have the dashes there? Well, this is actually going to be the end of the URL. Okay, so here's your URL here. This is actually going to be /Tom-Agent-Background. And so we can't put spaces in there because you can't have spaces in a URL. You know, we remind you of this here. And if you try and put spaces in there, we will red flag that and actually remind you of it again. So when you get an error, because everybody does it, it's totally fine, then go through and do a hyphen or an underscore to separate your words is just fine. Choose your page layout if you want just some informational stuff. We've got these predefined layouts. I always kind of start with just the wide open one, and I'll do that to show you the editor here. We'll click on Create. So here's our page. We've dropped in some just basic script for you so you can see kind of how everything looks. It's not titled yet because we haven't titled it, but you can see Tom Agent background. It's there. It's in preview mode, so no one can see it yet. And so now we can work on it and play with all these pages before we make them live. So how do we do that? Well, back in the upper right-hand corner, we can delete the page here. We can change the page attributes. We talked about that. We can add a banner to the page. So let's just go through these one at a time. So I'm going to add a banner to the page. And what that does is it just gives me a nice little flavor up here before the text starts. So I'm going to choose a file. I already have this exterior lifestyles file here. I'm going to click open. I'm going to click save. It loads the image and refreshes the page. It's not sized perfectly, but you get the idea. If I had it sized a little bit skinnier and perfectly, it would look even better. And so that could be a nice little top banner for the page. And then up here, if I want to change the title of the page, I go over here, I click on page attributes. Sorry, I need to be in edit mode. That's my bad. When I go down here, when I edited the banner image, I can do that, but now that I'm going to edit the page, I have to click edit to start editing. And that way you know that it's in edit mode. So now once I click edit, then I can say I want to edit my page attributes. So for my heading here, that's the actual page title up here. I can say outdoor living, Tom's background. And that's going to be the title up here. I'm sorry, the heading up here, your tab. The title will be the title of the page. And this, we could do something like, this is my background in real estate and outdoor living. That might be a little bit long, but let's take a look. And then the description again would be the description that someone might find it on Google. That would be your marketing type text. Social media title, social description, we already went over those as well. So we'll click on save. It says modifications complete. We'll reload the page. And once we do that, again, my header changed. This is my background in real estate and outdoor living, Tom's background. So nice and simple. That's how we change the headers of the page. We'll scroll down a little bit, make sure that we are still in edit mode here. So we are in edit mode. So we'll scroll down, and then once we want to edit this, we just click it. Once we click into it, our little editor comes up, and this is basically just like a Word doc. So I can go up here, I can hit backspace and delete. If I want to work in source, I can work in the source of the page as well. For those of you that want to dump in video or HTML or a PHP widget or something like that, you can do it there. But in this case, I just want to say, this is Tom's background, and then I can do some bullets maybe. First point, second point, thank you for listening. So you get the idea. There's a lot of little things that we can do. When we talk a little bit about other pages, and especially like some of the social media campaigns we want to do and landing pages, you will see these buttons come into play. This is how we insert a video. You can also insert a video just by using the source code here and dumping in your iframe code from YouTube. Super, super easy. Don't be scared by the source button. This right here will actually import saved searches. And so this would import saved search results onto this page. And so every time someone came to the page, it would show them results of a saved search that's in your MyConnect system. So where would this be helpful? Well, you could do a social media campaign that says, hey, Royal Oaks always has great condos available. Take a look at this page, and then drop in maybe a video from YouTube on Royal Oaks, and then have a saved search and show all the condos listed on Royal Oaks. That would be a great page. Google would love that page, be good SEO, and then you could run that in a little social campaign. We have agents that do that for 50, 60, 70 different areas. They have a very robust website, and it's part of their marketing plan. So just a couple of ideas, and we'll do that on the deep dive webinars when it comes to actual website building. If you want to insert a picture, you can do it here. Facebook like is here. You've got all sorts of different things that you can do. But for now, we are going to scroll back up. We are going to save this page, and it's good to go. So this page is still saved in draft mode. How do we know that? Well, right here it says preview. And if we wanted to, if it wasn't in draft mode, we wouldn't have this publish button. So once we publish it, then it's ready to go. So let's go ahead and publish it. So we click on publish. Now the page is actually live. So it's live. Someone can get here if they had this link. They could read all the different information. It's ready and good to go. What we don't have, though, is we don't have it in any of our navigation. So let's say this Tom's background piece we want to put as a main header up here. So we're going to go back to the home page. And as we go back to the home page, you see this little plus icon. So here's my options. These are all preloaded pages, and you can hide them if you want to by hitting the little garbage can. So if you don't want people to see the sell page or the buy page, just hit the little garbage can. You've got all of this preloaded information, but I would leave it on there because it makes your site look robust even if you don't do anything for your site. So that's there, but let's say we want to add one more tab and we want to call it Tom's background. So we click the plus sign, navigator item. So what is the title? Tom's background. Now, where do we want that to link to? Okay, well, in that case, we wanted it to link to Tom's page, but in order to do that, I need the URL for that page. So let's go back and grab the URL for that page. So we go in here to draft or published. That's our little website notifications. Those are our existing pages. We click on published, Tom's agent background. We take a look at the page, and now we're going to grab this URL, and we're going to right click, and we're going to copy. Okay, so basically what we've done is we've just copied this link. So we go back here, we say, again, I want to add to this navigation. So we click the little plus sign. So Tom's background. Now I'm going to copy the link onto here. So paste. Where do we want it? Do we want it like, which navigation item do we want it as? Well, let's go ahead and make it the first navigation up here, even before search. And do we want it to open in the existing website or in a new window? Well, it's part of this website, so we'd want to open it in the existing website. We click on add. Page refreshes, and there it is. So now we've got Tom's background, search, my links, services, and communities. Let's say I wanted to pick Tom's background and put it under my links. Well, that's fine. I could just click on new, and then that would drop it in under that navigation there. So you can see you can go first level, second level, or even third level. Okay. So I went through that pretty fast. I know that you can rewind this, you can take a look, you can slow it down, you can pause, but the idea here is if I want to create a page, I create it over here. Okay, new page. I've got all my page editing tools. Once my page is created, if I published it, it's here under published. If it's not published yet, then it's here under a draft. And so I would just publish it, then I would grab the link of the page, and then I would dump it wherever I want to, and it becomes clickable. Okay, so those are the basics to get around the web builder. There's lots more that we can do here on the web builder, and we'll have specific training sessions and webinars about those pieces. But for now, that gets your feet wet. You can get in here, you can make some alterations, kind of customize it, and I would really suggest you put together kind of a web plan, a business plan, a marketing plan about how you want to use this website. Think about all the things that you'd like it to accomplish and functionality for you, and then what we'll do is you'll see in different trainings the way to accomplish that. It's a lot easier to plan it first and then come in and do it as opposed to just coming in here and say, oh, I should probably create a page and then have no idea what you want to use that page for. So come up with your architecture first, your plan first, and then trust me, we will find a way to get it done for you. Okay? All right, thank you for listening.